Welcome back. It is Tuesday, March 28th. And yeah, we all got our Lions
Oh
flags,
man!
baby. Woo!
Shout out Mary Stark. Shout out Mary Stark.
My mother, yes, who got us, two-thirds of this. Nick, shout out to Nick, who got us on this little Lions trend. But we have a great show for you guys in store today. I guess that's how I phrase it. We got Lions news because there has been a few little news and notes. Nothing crazy like the last 2 weeks because it seems like these last like 2-3 episodes we had like Joey Harrington on, that we had it was me and Julius with an epic ending, and then we had the David Montgomery signing, and then we all came together last week and we could talk about it all. And now it's kind of like DJ Chark news. That's about it, but we'll get to more of the news. We'll also be talking a little draft talk because that is kind of the talk of the talk. And ironically, this is like a great time for the Lions. Normally, draft seasons, like what we're like kind of like not dreading / looking forward to, because usually if you have a high pick, you're a bad team. But we are in the double whammy zone where we have a top 7 pick, top 6 pick, and we are a legit contending team. So it's fun. We can talk about our 6th overall pick and not have to worry about it being us being bad next year. Boys, I can't, Nick, I can't not talk about it. Michigan State, the tournament. What do you guys think about some of these, these crazy upsets? Are you for it, or are you upset some of these big blue buds like the Michigan State, Kansas, those big giants aren't in?
It's you always want to see the upsets, but this was like a little too much. It's like when you're trying to get some cake, you always want a little dessert, right? It's always good to see a sweet Cinderella story in there, but when you just overindulge on cake and you don't even get any dinner, and you don't see any of the big guys out there. Florida, Atlanta, UConn's about to win it all. It's just nuts to me. I do wish Michigan State would have won. That was a crazy game. I swear to God, Angels were behind Kansas State in that one. They were putting up Hail Marys and making them. It was incredible. But I still had to represent Michigan State because, you know what I mean? They made it farther than any other Michigan school.
Probably the most fun game of the tourney so far. I mean, there was a couple other ones, but as up to that point, that was definitely the wildest, craziest first overtime, and I think the only overtime game as well this tourney. Julius, I know us Michigan fans, we made it to the Sweet 16, but not in the big tourney, NIT.
Listen,
so
I haven't even paid much attention to the Michigan basketball.
It's been bad.
You're telling me you didn't watch the not invited tournament?
No. I have more pride in the greatest public university man has ever known than to watch a national come to this tournament. I'm good on it, and I like the underdog rush in the NCAA tournament. Because I'm always, I'm from Detroit. It's an underdog city. I love underdogs. It'd be great if like Central or UD or Oakland or something did it, but I like that it's no like top seeds in the Final Four. The parity is refreshing, even though I got a feeling it's just because of the transfer portal and COVID and all of that. It's not I feel like next year we got to have 4 number ones in the Final Four.
I don't know. It's definitely the transfer portal, the NIL. It's definitely kind of.
I think it makes it where there's going to be like no number 1 seeds in the Final Four for the next like 10 years. Like it's just going to be
upset city
everywhere. Pick and brackets are going to get so nuts. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
But
that's what I think.
Hopefully one of these years, just bet the underdogs, and like we're seeing the 16 seed, Fairleigh Dickinson, the Princetons. If you were throwing $10 on that, you were a couple bucks there. So.
FAU for sure, yeah.
Could be a nice little FAU. I know they're like plus 50,000 to win it all. Now they're in the Final Four.
I had Oral Roberts in the Final Four.
Well,
they win a game.
They got blew out by Duke in the first round.
I had Duke in my Final Four, who got blew out by Tennessee, who then got blew out by freaking Florida Atlantic.
Oral Roberts was 32-3 in a regular season, swept their tournament. They're one of like the Cinderella wannabes, right? So I had hope, but it ended up being the other guys. It's okay.
Right.
Lion show.
I was in a family bracket. It was 8 people total, and nobody had a single Final Four team correct. Not one person. I had a chance to win the whole thing if Texas would have beat Miami, University of Miami, and Texas would have been the only team that anyone ever that had in the Final Four, and it would have been me. But then they blew it at the end, and Miami won, and I ended up losing, and it was great. It was terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's kind of how all these bracket challenges went. It's like, well, who had the best Sweet 16?
Yep, exactly, dude. Who had UConn in the Final Four? Not me.
Hey, ironically, my dad called it. One of my buddies, Ben Schaefer, called it. Turned me onto them. I threw $5 at UConn when they're plus 2,000. So I'll be riding the Huskies.
Hey, I'm riding it with you. Let's go Huskies.
March Madness, but I wouldn't be surprised if like FAU or San Diego State upsets them, or even Miami, because that's just the way the tournament has been going. It seems upset city. But let's talk a little Detroit Lions news. There was a few rumblings going on. Lamar Jackson a couple days ago posted a tweet just as John Harbaugh was taking the podium for the NFL GMs and head coaches press conference, or whatever, gathering they do this time of year. And it was a very, planned tweet in which all the coaches were asking, is Lamar Jackson going to be your quarterback day one, blah, blah, blah. And so obviously this, raises the Lions, are we going to trade for Lamar Jackson? He has said he doesn't want to play for the Ravens anymore. So the Lions back in it? Well, no. Dan Campbell shut that down. He pretty much said Jared Goff is our guy. He did say there will be some quarterback competition for the backup spot, just not the starting spot. That is Jared Goff. So no more of this Lamar Jackson talk. You guys can put it to bed. It is officially over unless, something crazy happens. But it's looking like we are out on Lamar Jackson.
Go ahead, Julius.
I was just gonna say good riddance. I don't even want to talk about Lamar Jackson. So he's not a Detroit Lion. I'm good.
I swear, if we went back 2 years ago, we would find so many receipts of Julius just praying for Lamar Jackson. Because I remember you were on that train big time.
I was too. Yeah, we 3-4 episodes, man.
Hey, listen, when we were 1-5, I was calling for Jared Goff's job. I was calling for everybody's job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's got 2 busted knees. He's not. What are we doing right now? Like, this is not a guy who you should guarantee money to, unfortunately. Just because of durability, we've seen it year in, year out, and he hasn't played because he knew that this was coming. He saw the writing on the wall. He's not going to put himself at risk of more injury. No, what that shows is that you're not durable and you can't play. You didn't play, you can't play. Like, I don't know what to tell you, and you're not going to give all this guaranteed money for it. He bet on himself. It's going to be very interesting to see where he goes.
Remember how I said, I predicted he wouldn't go back to the Ravens. You guys both.
He's definitely not going back to the Ravens. There's no way he's going to be a Ravens still. But I will say this. What Dan Campbell said is not cement. That is not in stone. That is not the end-all, be-all. Now, I'm not saying Lamar Jackson by any means. I am not trying to keep those talks alive. But Dan Campbell goes out today and says, Lamar Jackson's a great player, but we got our quarterback. We have a quarterback. We don't need a quarterback. We have a quarterback. I'm not counting out the quarterback in the draft yet, because it's really easy to be like, well, this is this week's news. That must be the end all be all. There's a lot of smoke screens. I'm interested, but no, Lamar Jackson. Can we just stop talking about him? He's never coming to Detroit. He was never going to come to Detroit. It's not happening.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was one of those, long shots that like Detroit fans were like, we brought in, Detroit Pistons brought in Allen Iverson and Blake Griffin and, these superstar, free agents. But, it's the Lions. We don't really do that type of stuff. And we got our boy Goff. So Goff was good enough to make Vegas put their win total at 9.5. This is the highest since 1989. Are you guys thinking we can hit this over on 9.5 wins, or is that, just right or not enough?
Well, we won 9 games last year. If we can't win a half a game more this year, then I'm so sorry, but Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell's got to go, because that means we We failed this year. If we don't hit that over, this is a fail. Do I think the Lions will fail? I'm bred that way. You know what I mean? That's how I'm born to think about these Detroit Lions. But I think we hit this over. I think we hit this over by a mile. Like I am so not afraid to get to our schedule episode and join Julius and stand 17-0. Like I can't wait till everyone on this show has us 17-0 because I don't see who we can lose to. I mean, Kansas City would be tough, but if we take them in Germany, I think we can beat them. So, yeah, the over that seems super low. But Vegas has to be cautious. Take precautionary because we're the Lions. But we all know from not being in Vegas and being in Detroit and seeing it for the last 30 years that there is something different happening, and the over should be hit by so much. Like we have been so close for 2 straight years. The first year was losses by 6 points or less in every single game we played, damn near, except for like 2. Last year, it was injuries in the beginning and then the amazing finish. It's all going to accumulate to this final 3rd season. We've been building for 3 seasons. It's been the plan. It's been the script since day one. So 9.5 is an extreme low ball in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like Vegas is being a little cautious on 9.5.
A little bit, definitely. I would agree. Because it's the Lions. That's why. Just like Nick said. I mean, we have a history of this. So shoot, if we would got 9.5 last year, they would be like, "What the H? What was it? Right. What did it open up last year? I think it was like 5.5 or something.
Not even. Couldn't have been 4.5.
And everybody was taking the over. They were like, "Oh, the Lions going to surprise."
I think, yeah.
Over. They're at least going to win 6, 7 games. You know, with Aiden Hutchinson, blah blah. So they're kind of just adding to that. You know, everybody's going to take the over on this. I would. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe bet. Now, I
don't know
will
if there's no such thing as a safe bet, but it's definitely one I'll smash. That's for sure.
Yeah. Do you think no DJ Chark? Will that impact in any like games at all, or do you think this is going to be something that's like, all right, well, we could totally afford to lose it? I know Chark only played a few games, but the games he did play, I mean, he was kind of impactful, and with the Green Bay game especially, there was a couple other games where he caught big passes, first down plays. Nick, is this a guy that the Lions? You were high on him last episode. Are we truly going to be missing out on him, or do we think we can replace him?
It's a two-sided question there. It's a 2-answer. Like, will he be missed? I think up front, yes. I think the first 6 weeks, whoever we get to replace him, because it won't be Josh Reynolds or Khalif Raymond, Quintez Cephas. It's gonna be some new guy. That's what it's gonna be. We're not gonna go in. Brad Holmes knows better than to go into this season without another receiver there. Probably by the looks of it, it'll be through the draft, or it'll be a veteran that's still on the market that's not that impactful, but I don't know, maybe as impactful as DJ Chark could be. I said it last episode. DJ Chark and Jared Goff found a connection, so much so to a point that they were going for him at game-winning plays. Game-winning plays, must-convert throws, and it was to DJ Chark. That is a connection that's rare for Jared Goff. We see him funnel the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. We just see him pepper it. To see him start to get out of his comfort zone and start to hit DJ Chark, it was awesome. I'm kind of upset that he went to Carolina. It seems like they're poaching a lot of our Lions. They know what's up. It's the league is a copycat league, and they're copying everything we do. They like the leadership that DJ brings. They like the familyness that he brings. They like who he is, I think, outside of the field and plus on the field as well. And I think Deuce Staley had a lot to do with getting him over to Carolina. And there was a reason for that. There was a reason that we were the final 2. There was a reason that he's playing for Deuce Staley, and Deuce Staley went out of his way probably to get DJ Chark. And I'm guessing. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just assuming. Because he's a good wide receiver. I do think he'll be missed. Who are we going to replace him with? Hopefully it's a first-round talent. DeAndre Hopkins, maybe.
Hopkins is receiving.
Oh, speechless. Oh, DeAndre Hopkins left you boys speechless. Yeah, let's get Nuke for a second, dude. Get him for 2 years.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals will be a little stingy. I will say
they got him for like a 3rd round pick, dude. And David Johnson, who was like 42.
That is very true. Yeah,
they're gonna trade him for a 3rd round pick. He's that's just maybe a 2nd round.
Yep, there goes my phone. I'm always good for one of the a phone drop or a mic mute is always bound to happen in one of these Honolulu Blues shows. Some other guys, or a guy, I guess we did bring back. Well, guys, I will say Nate Sudfeld. We brought him back as our QB2. I'm sure we'll talk a little more. Nick, you kind of alluded to, some quarterback talk at maybe pick 6, 18, or so on. But I don't think that Nate Sudfeld is like our locked and loaded QB2. I think there's more to this puzzle, and we're gonna figure it out probably a few weeks before week 1. So we'll get to that. But the biggest signing, I guess, recently was Jalen Reeves-Maybin. We brought Germ back. So this was a guy that Dan Campbell, he seemed to, have a little connection with his rookie year. Coined him Germ just because of his nickname, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, JRM. So hopefully this is a guy that, he can, come back and just rejoin with the Lions. He was a big special teams player. I believe he was our special teams captain. So if we do lose Josh Woods, which is looking like we're not bringing back, it's kind of like the flip-flop. That's what we're making. So I'm cool with it. Do you guys have any thoughts on our boy Germ coming back?
Great signing for this special teams. I agree. I was surprised we let him go in the first place last year, but he just wanted to make a little bit of extra money. So I'm glad to have him back, kind of in the same way as Graham Glasgow. So it's good. Good former Lions signing. Something that never happens, by the way.
Yeah, it's funny we're bringing all these guys back. I can't believe
that never happens.
All the Lions that left are like, well, wait a minute. Now
they're
that
good.
Gone, I want to come back.
I
want to be a part of this special run that's about to happen. They know it. They see it. Getting Germ back's amazing, dude. Reeves-Maybin, this isn't an on-the-field signing. This is we lost Jamal Williams signing. We need passion in this locker room. And Reeves-Maybin is exactly the type of player that Dan Campbell likes. That's why he's back. And he's probably going to be a coach later in his career, in my opinion, Jalen Reeves-Maybin. That's where my guess is that he goes to, is into coaching. I think he's that type of player, and I think we're going to see that by him helping out the young guys on the team this year. So I love the signing. I'm so excited to bring these guys back. I'm ready to see a Barry Sanders contract come through, a Calvin contract come through. I'm ready. Joey Harrington was just on the show. Well, maybe not Joey, but someone else.
There was one more player that has been rumored, or I guess Lions have shown some interest in him. And it's kind of interesting because we went back and forth on, the sources, if Lions were actually interested in this guy or if, he was going to visit someone else. And that's Julius Campbell. He was, in fact, going to visit the Jets on Thursday, which is it somehow got reported that he was visiting the Lions on Thursday. But then all of a sudden, a change of events, the Lions came out and said, oh, no, we are interested in Julius Campbell, and we are in talks with him. So it could be, he could be coming to see the Lions maybe Thursday, too, as well. But we are interested in him. So, Julius, is this some sort of veteran, big boy you'd like to see come in, maybe help out at Liam and some of the other, young defensive linemen?
Yes, it is, because inside defensive line, even though we signed Isaiah Buggs and John Kaminsky, I still feel like it's a weakness of Achilles of the team still. And so if we were able to add pretty much a possible future Hall of Famer in Calais Campbell, who can still play well. If you look at his grades from last season, he's not like washed out Michael Brockers or anything. He can actually add value to our defensive line, and pair that with like a Jalen Carter or Brian Brees. Then we talking business. But I like it very much. I can see like a 1 year, $5 million. I'd take that. 1 year, $4 million. I don't know what the market is on him, but I can't imagine it's too much.
He would teach a lot of the young guys a lot of stuff. I love it, and I'm getting a little sick of it that every single veteran is getting related to the Lions at this point. Like any veteran, Odell Beckham might be coming to the Lions. Like, I mean, I swear to God,
was that a real report or did I
don't know. I don't know. But the second I see a Des Bryant coming to Chad Ochocinco coming to the Lions report, I'm out of here. I'm running away. Yeah, sure. You know what? I mean, anything Brad Holmes does, I'm all about. If I'm the GM and I have this cap space, I'm going to use that $5 million elsewhere. And I just am. Now, I will get Campbell if I get Jalen Carter. That's who you're getting, Campbell. Not just to teach the young guys here and now, but you're going to need someone impactful for Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is not going to be like Aiden Hutchinson will tell me what to do. Like, I just think you need a wise veteran, a Brockers almost type player in there. If you're not getting Jalen Carter, and we're going to continue just to build young, but the reason I bring up Jalen Carter is because he's got a few off the field issues and his character is in question right now. But if we're getting a guy like Khalija Cansey, then, you know, it seems like we probably don't need to spend $5 million on Campbell as well. I know, like, a plethora of defensive linemen is amazing, right? That's the best, but Calais Campbell or trading for Nuke. I mean, give me Nuke. There's money. That money can be spent elsewhere, I think, instead of Campbell. But if Brad Holmes gets him, I like him.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I'm with both of you there. I do think it could be good. And I do think, you know, if we're gonna pull the trigger on a vet, I'd rather do it on Nuke. But like you said, Nick, if Brad Holmes is that's what he's pulling the trigger on, then all right, I approve. So we'll just have to see how that unfolds. The last bit of news came out earlier today, I should say. It was that the NFL announced players can wear the number 0. So my question for you boys is, what Lions player would look just absolutely sweet rocking number 0?
I would probably say Jameson Williams or one of the faster players on the team. Maybe Jeff Okuda. I don't know. I've never seen a player with 0 on.
It's not. There's nothing to compare to. But yeah, I like Jameson with the 0. I think that could be interesting.
There's 2 guys I would like to wear 0. 1, Jalen Carter. 2, Will Anderson.
No,
those are the 2 guys that would look the best with 0.
That's actually very true too. Will Anderson. Oh my gosh, it's 0.
However, what's up with the NFL being like, no, we're going to table this like legitimately really good idea about getting rid of an onside kick and making it a 4th and 20 type of play? No. But you know what? Let's definitely allow players to wear the number 0 because that's what we need. We don't need something that could actually help the game. We don't want to let roughing the passer be reviewable, which it absolutely should be.
Yeah.
No. But we'll let the guys wear 0. Who the fuck cares about the number 0, honestly? That's no different to me than the number 1 or the number 2 or the number 3 or the number 4. But what matters is a 4th and 20 onside kick outside instead of an onside kick. What matters to me is a reviewable roughing the passer because the Lord only knows we will be in the NFC Championship and fucking Jalen Carter will like get this
wearing the number 0,
but wearing number 0 and will fall on the fucking quarterback and flags and they're gonna end up winning because of it. Because it's not reviewable, you know what I mean? Like we're the NFL is bypassing these and tabling these like actual good ideas that can help further the NFL, and hoping that they can like just throw players can wear the numbers. Who's gonna be the first to wear 0? Who's gonna be selling the jersey 0? None of that matters. Get your fucking sales mind out of here and let's like worry about
Calvin Ridley. He's the first player to adopt 0 in NFL. I saw the tweet.
That seems about right, dude. Calvin Ridley is going to be such a freaking beast with Lawrence in Jacksonville and Duval. It's going to be so fun to watch Jacksonville versus Detroit in the Super Bowl.
Just glad we don't have to watch Aiden Hutchinson on Jacksonville. Am I right, boys?
No, we can watch Aiden Hutchinson sack Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? All day long.
All right. Question of the day. This is kind of what we've been talking about, teasing a little bit, but ultimately, how the hell do we address our wide receiver 3 spot? Because it kind of seems like we are in purgatory with it. It's not like Josh Reynolds is going to be the guy. He could be the guy. It's not like Cliff Raymond's going to be the guy. He could be the guy, but there's a lot of options out there. And with DJ Chark signing with the Panthers, we don't know what the Lions are going to do. They could go the draft. They could maybe sign some OBJ random veteran. I don't know. Probably not that route, but who knows with Brad Holmes? He's a man of mystery. He's got all the tricks up his sleeve. So, Julius, what the hell do we do with this, wide receiver 3 spot? How do we fill it?
Well, we can go. I would go in the direction of the draft more than likely, but we don't have to. We can go to draft. We don't have to go in the first or second round. We can go third, fourth, fifth round, kind of Amon-Ra, St. Brown territory. Somebody Brad likes. I trust Brad with a wide receiver 3. I really do. I liked him picking Amon-Ra a couple years ago. I liked him signing Shark last year. I like him extending Khalif Raymond. He's going to be in the mix for it. And I just imagine it's going to be a rookie and not another veteran free agent that's going to fill the role at the end of the day.
This is what Brad Holmes has done to us. It makes us to I don't even know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Whoever Brad Holmes decides.
Just let me see.
He can sign Betty White and bring her from the grave, and I'll still be like, yeah, I'll probably draft her in my fantasy league. Like, she probably could be a good wide receiver 3. So, I mean, I honestly, who would I go with? I would love to see us draft one in the first round, Quentin Johnston, or what if we get Jackson Smith-Njigba and put him in the slot, and we let Jameson just run the X or the Y, and then let Monra be the X? Man, that would be filthy. I would love that. Quentin Johnston is a very good wide receiver. Jordan Addison. If any of these guys want to fall back, I don't want to draft him at 6. I would like to trade back to 9 and draft one, 18, see what happens. I don't really want a guy in the second or third round. I don't think there's a lot of good wide receivers in that area. There is a sleeper pick that I would like if we wanted to address it here would be Jalen Reed from Michigan State, represent. And I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing all this. He is phenomenal and had a great combine. And was just, had injuries and then had bad quarterback play, just was never there. Trade for Nuke. What are we doing? This is the same thing I've been saying with Derrick Henry. If we can get Nuke for a second rounder, and we have to pay him some money, we have the third most cap space left in the NFL right now, team wise. DeAndre Hopkins played in 6 games last year, or whatever, 8 games, and was like a fantasy wide receiver 30. Like he just put up numbers upon numbers, and that was with not Drew Stanton. Jesus, where am I? Colt McCoy starting. I don't even know who started after that. They had freaking AFL guys and XFL guys starting for him at the end of last year. So DeAndre Hopkins would be so good if we got DeAndre Hopkins as our wide receiver 1 with Amon-Ra St. Brown. DeAndre Hopkins has been great with Matt Schaub. I don't even know who the hell were the quarterbacks in Houston. I don't even know.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, but he's not even that good of a quarterback. You know what I mean? Jared Goff was better than Kyler Murray at throwing the ball for sure. So give Nuke, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams. That wide receiver core is the filthiest wide receiver core for the next 3 years. It is what it is. He's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a top 10 wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins is a top 10 wide receiver. He will be drafted in fantasy leagues like a top 10 wide receiver, no matter where he goes, no matter who his quarterback is, because he is. And the only reason he wasn't last year is because he had PEDs and had to sit out half a season. whatever, dude. Hopefully those PEDs are still lingering and give them an extra boost for the next 3 years, and we can go trade for them.
It would be a huge confidence boost for Jared Goff too. Just having DeAndre Hopkins come to your room, being your option 3 if you want. Going to Amon-Ra, Jameson, then Hopkins. So it's almost like he kind of showed he didn't really need T.J. Hawkinson, but it was nice to have him. So he doesn't really need Hopkins, but boy, it could be nice to have him. So
right. Like you don't need to have, you know what I mean, that 1964 Mustang to drive your kids to school, but it'd be nice to have it just in case, you know what I mean? Just in case you need to impress someone, you just take that out and take them up to school. Yeah, let's get Nuke for a second rounder. Or what? We want to keep the second rounder and draft someone like Jalen Hyatt. We're like, let's get Josh Downs from North Carolina. My God, he could be the next DeAndre Hopkins. No, trade that shit away and go get DeAndre Hopkins. He is certified top 10 wide receiver in the NFL for at least a year. And that's what we're trying to do in the Super Bowl this year. This fucking year.
And also, hey, shout out to Michigan for changing the lighting. Killing me right now. I'm like in this like dark, lurky. If you were on the show, 20 minutes ago, it was a nice background, and now I'm just in this dungeon, people. So I'm not trapped in a dungeon. Don't call for help. I'm okay. But yeah, it is kind of dark in here.
Blink twice if you need help.
Ultimately, yeah, that's some good Hopkins talk. He would be the best wide receiver 3 spot. And hopefully, Brad Holmes could pull the trigger on that because that could be cool. Some
guys I don't want, by the way, like Allen Robinson. I'm all done with that. I do not even think about bringing like Allen Robinson.
I agree. I don't even care if the Rams are like, we'll pay his contract.
We'll pay you to take him. No, I'm all right.
It could very well look like some sort of like Allen Robinson and like a 4th, or like Al Robinson and a 5th for like.
Listen, I can get some receipts on both of you guys talking about y'all wanted Allen Robinson last.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm done on that, dude.
1 year, $13 million for the Detroit boy. 1 year, $13 million.
That train long gone. That train long gone.
Yes,
I'll give him 13,000 for a year. We'll see what happens.
Some draft talk. Lions brought in Jalen Carter, or are bringing in Jalen Carter for a personal visit. And then also on top of this, they talked to one of his teammates who kind of spilled the beans on him. Dan Campbell didn't really disclose if it was good or bad stuff what he said, but he said it was interesting. So nonetheless, hopefully Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have, a little extra insight on Jalen Carter. Maybe they're like, holy crap, are we the only guys seeing this? And if so, we're about to get, an Aaron Donald 2.0 superstar like that. Or maybe they're thinking, we can slide on this guy, or hopefully someone trades up because this dude has way too many issues or problems that we could have ever imagined. Julius, any concerns about Jalen Carter? Do you think, any of these little like news and things that have come out worry you at all?
A little bit, but before all the news and stuff came out about, him getting charged. I mean, he was at the top of my draft board. I had him at number 2 right under Will Anderson. So I think I would want the Lions to take that chance at 6 if he's there. I would. I feel like it will be like us drafting Aiden Hutchinson or Penei Sewell the last 2 years. That's the kind of pick it would be for our team. And I think what he is like, his controversy that surrounds him is something we can get past. The Lions can move past with him. They can work with Jalen Carter. If they don't, another team will.
I agree. And then also, Nick, before you get into it, if we do see Jalen Carter get called at 6, because every Lions fan, whether you're, you don't want him because of his character issues, you don't want him because, he showed up 9 pounds overweight to his pro day or whatever reasons. But if Brad Holmes, gives that approval, and what you do know is everyone knows what he could be. a lot of people think, he is going to be this stud, and there's a good amount of people that think, no, he's going to bust out. But if Brad Holmes says it at number 6 that he believes he's going to be a stud, we are going to get a consensus of Detroit fans flocking in saying, oh my goodness, this dude's going to be a beast, and hopefully he is. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever Brad Holmes does, we'll all be extremely happy. I mean, he could draft Will Levis, and we'll be like, all right, let's fucking go Will Levis. This is my boy.
That would be interesting.
Crazy. But for the sense of the show, for the sake of the show, let's get rid of Brad Holmes making all the correct decisions for us, and let's put ourselves in his shoes. For the whole show, I've been talking up Jalen Carter and all this. Realistically, here's how I approach as a GM. There is 2 positions you draft inside the top 10, and it's edge and quarterback. If everything else here, it's big. It's a bigger risk, in my opinion. And not only that, you can find just as good, almost as good talent later in the road at almost every other position: wide receiver, defensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback, safety. Edge and quarterback disrupt the game so much on their respective sides that you have to take them if you have a top 10 pick. Now, we as Lions fans have top 10 picks every other year. We're like, what? That's ridiculous. Just draft whatever you need in your position. But teams that win, and when they get a top 10 pick, you don't see them taking a cornerback at 3 and stuff like that, right? Brad Holmes knows this, in my opinion. Offensive line can be added in that. I'm so sorry. Offensive tackle, left tackle. My fault. I forgot that. So quarterback, edge, and left tackle. And Brad Holmes knows this. It will be a trenches pick, and I don't think it'll be a defensive tackle. I don't think he drafts Jalen Carter, even if he's there. If Tyree Wilson and Jalen Carter are there, it'll be Tyree Wilson, in my opinion. He will draft another edge. He will move James Houston out to the backer position, edge backer, alongside with Tyree Wilson, and then have Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. Aleem McNeil is one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. He's just not seen. People didn't realize. Do you remember how much we talked about the rush defense for the Detroit Lions last year? Every single week, people kept trying to bet on the opposing running back, fantasy running back, to be great against the Lions. They never were. They never were.
I remember we came up. It was the Saquon Barkley game. I was like, "Oh, Nick, we got Saquon Barkley." Dude, what are you talking about? Go look at the last 4 games. We've been shutting down Dalvin Cook. There's another guy, Dave Montgomery, but etc. Then we went on, shut down Saquon, and I was like, "You're
damn near every running game except for Carolina, which was played on a concrete field. 86 that game. Aleem McNeil is a shutdown interior defense lineman. Interior defense lineman is not as big a need as we think. We just need depth. We can get Keanu Butin from Wisconsin in the 3rd or 2nd round, and he is very good. He is very good. Jalen Carter is not Aaron Donald. He wouldn't have shown up like he did at his pro day if he was Aaron Donald. Do I think he's good? Yeah. Do I want to pass on him and let him fall to like Chicago? No. That I would be pretty unhappy about that. But you just don't take a defensive tackle at 6. You get an edge or you get a quarterback. And so I don't want Jalen Carter. I would like to move up. If we're not trading for Nuke, trade that 2nd and our 6th pick and move up to get Will Anderson. Go get the best edge rusher. Pair him with Aiden Hutchinson. Or draft Tyree Wilson, who has been my draft crush since October. 6'6", ball of freaking fire, who just burns down on the quarterbacks. It's nuts. It is nuts. If you ever watch highlights of Tyree Wilson, everyone listening, you will see why I think we should draft him at 6 and why Seattle will probably take him at 5 and he will not be there at 6. But so honestly, I like Jalen Carter. It doesn't really worry me about his off the field because I do think Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell can kind of correct those issues. It's the position. Draft an edge. I don't care how many edge players we have. And everyone's like, we got 2 great edge players and Okwaras and this and that. No, that doesn't matter. You can move Houston outside and line another edge player up right there. We saw Houston in coverage do a coverage sack by himself against Justin Fields. Back up and then blitz him watch his eyes and go get Justin Fields. Like it's add an edge rusher. Don't add Jalen Carter. That's my
pick 6. While we're on the topic, Julius, I heard it on 97.1. I hate to agree with him. Mike Valeni, he is all for a big guy that can, just a wrecking ball, essentially, a scary tackler that can just bring down the quarterback. And if it's Jalen Carter, if it's Will Anderson, if it's Tyree Wilson, if it's Miles Murphy, I don't care. I am in that consensus where I want a legit rusher, someone that can get to the quarterback, someone that can make a difference on the defensive line. I'm not completely out on Jalen Carter, but I get what you're saying, Nick. I think a edge rusher like Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson would be more effective just because that's where we see games being changed. It's Micah Parsons, it's Joey Bosa's, Von Miller's. Those they win playoff games, and Von Miller wins Super Bowls. So not saying, those guys could be that, but that is their potential. So if Brad Holmes believes that one of those guys can be, the next game wrecker, Joey Bosa, to go on the opposite end as Aiden Hutchinson, that's exactly what I want to do at pick 6.
I have a prediction, guys, a trade prediction. The Lions will make a trade out of 6. They would trade up with the Arizona Cardinals to number 3 and select Will Anderson Jr. And then all of your edge dreams come to full fruition. And not only that, but it can be something like the 3rd. They could trade the 3rd. They could trade the 6th pick and one of the 2nd rounders and add DeAndre Hopkins to the deal.
Well, wait a minute.
That's,
wait a minute.
I'm saying because the move from 6 to 3, I heard that it's going to cost 6 and either a current 2nd or a future first or a future 2nd.
That's the dream scenario.
All you got to do is pop in a current 2nd or 3rd, and boom, DeAndre Hopkins. Boom.
Okay. Would you guys do Will Anderson and DeAndre Hopkins for pick 6, our first 2nd rounder this year, and our 2nd rounder next year?
Yes.
Me too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
But
I would just do that and go for it all this year.
If it happens, we're gonna have an emergency episode where we're just gonna drop everything we're doing in life.
What's gonna happen is
manifested this.
The Cardinals, I think, are gonna want more for Will Anderson than they do DeAndre Hopkins, or vice versa. They're gonna go, we're gonna give you a good deal on one of the ends. So I think if it did happen, it would be like a 6 and 18 for 3 and Hopkins. Call the day. Maybe we get 4th or 5th. A little seasoning on extra.
I would do that. I would do that. And then I would keep both my 2nds this year and my 3rd, and I would take Will Anderson and DeAndre Hopkins and get out of the 1st round and just be done.
Theoretically, this, Rams trade, if Brad Holmes wants to think about it as what he's done, he could lock and load Jameson Williams and Will Anderson as those two pieces he essentially got for Matt Stafford, along with Jared Goff. And if you get, Jameson Williams and Will Anderson, those are 2 guys, offense and defense, that can, truly take your team to the next level. So I like it. It would be, when's the last time the Lions made a big trade on draft day? Because I will say it did seem like we were trading in and out of the 2nd round last year.
Jameson Williams.
Jameson. Yeah. I was just thinking, there was a trade. I was
like, maybe it was Levi, Aline, who was duh. Well, so yeah, we know Brad Holmes isn't afraid to, pull the trigger. And we've seen, the splashes he's done in free agency. We went out and signed maybe the biggest free agent out there in Chauncey Garner. So he's a guy that back in the day, Lions fans think, oh no, we're not going to do anything crazy. We never do. We're not doing that. But now it's like, what's he got up his sleeve? What's Brad Holmes going to do next? So I am excited to see. Real quick, boys, before we get out of here, let's talk a little quarterback talk. the Lions are up at pick 6, and let's say only Stroud and Bryce Young are off the board. Levis and Richardson are there, and no one's really calling. Would you be opposed to, okay, what would a trade offer look like that you would want to, trade out of that pick 6 if Levis and Richardson were on? So like Falcons call us up, or I don't know who else are there, Raiders or whoever. But any type of trade scenarios, or would you just rather Brad Holmes pull the trigger? Because if you're like in the situation of Brad Holmes likes Anthony Richardson, then I love Anthony Richardson. Or if Brad Holmes like Will Levis, then that means he is Josh Allen or something. So
if Brad Holmes likes Bill Nye the Science Guy at 6, I like that pick. Give me everyone that he wants. So Anthony Richardson is intriguing. If he's there at 6 and we take him, I'll be pretty. I don't even know what to think. I would start thinking that it would be like Patrick Mahomes, because like it would be setting up that way. It would be setting up that way to where he followed a quarterback who was good enough to make the playoffs, but maybe not good enough to win it all. Taught him a lot. I would hope Goff does the same, and then get rid of Goff and go with Anthony Richardson. I mean, right now it's hard to say that as like a Lions pod where a lot of people listen, like, Goff is our quarterback. I wouldn't even fathom thinking of anything else. But as a realist, hopefully we don't have a top 6 pick again in the next however some years, unless we're trading for it or whatever through whatever deals. I wouldn't mind taking Anthony Richardson as if like Will Anderson's gone, Tyree Wilson's gone, Jalen Carter's gone, right? And then the 2 quarterbacks you said, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. That leaves Richardson, Will Levis, and then Christian Gonzalez and Devin Witherspoon and who Brian Branch. Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? At that point, but yeah, I'm taking a quarterback that's best available. But if it's Anthony Richardson or Tyree Wilson, I'd still probably take Anthony Richardson. But the fireball, don't worry, guys.
Julius,
it's intriguing, it is, and the Lions, Brad Holmes, they set it up this way where they can pretty much go in all types of different directions. Now, you do make a great point, Nick. At 6, I don't want to draft Devin Witherspoon, even though if they did, I'll be like, okay, but it's Brad Holmes, so it's a great pick. This guy's gonna be shut down
for sure.
I don't want to. Ideally,
look, we played the cornerback in the top 10 before. I think we've played
drafted cornerstones at this pick the last 2 drafts in Penei and Aiden Hutchinson, and I'm hoping to get a 3rd cornerstone. That's really what I'm hoping for, boys.
No hope. It needs to be. This has to be a cornerstone. This is it. This is the final. This is the chef's kiss on top of the amazing cake that Brad Holmes.
Brad Holmes can get a lifetime contract if he hit this offseason.
Right? Get a fucking lifetime.
Literally, because like next offseason, we're not going to be saying this. Next offseason, if this works out, I'm not going to say what happens, but we're going to be like, who gives a fuck who he signs? Who cares who he drafts? Trade next year's first for 3. If he traded it away to 2028, I wouldn't give a damn. If he hit this year, this is his lifetime year right here. This is it's a legendary.
This is his lifetime pick right here. This is it. This is your Who Wants to Be a Millionaire pick right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is it. That's why quarterback would be crazy. By the way, out of all that, Will Levis, no, do not draft the Mayo drinking Will Levis. That's weird as hell. I don't like them.
So weird. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Cortland Sutton,
what do you think about Cortland Sutton? This motherfucker was a 4th or 5th round draft pick, and now they wanted a 1st rounder for him. Amon-Ra St. Brown was a 4th round draft pick. I was just having this conversation at work today. Spare me on Cortland Sutton, dude. He's a great wide receiver, but that's not who I want a wide receiver 3. At that point, I would draft a 4th rounder and just kind of plug him in and wait a year. Because Cortland Sutton, we are trying to win right now, but Cortland Sutton is not DeAndre Hopkins. Never will be. Never will even be as good as Michael Pittman Jr. Like Cortland Sutton is just, he is a good wide receiver. And maybe last year I would have traded a bit more for him, but after seeing him play a year with Russ, sorry, but no, I don't have the confidence in him anymore. I don't like Sutton at all. Judy, I would trade a second rounder for Jerry Jeudy. And then maybe trade up and get Bryce Young and let the Alabama boys go.
That would be insane.
That would be great.
That would be actually insane. But I don't think the Lions do that. Yeah, I heard the Broncos already kind of shut down the Cortland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy, they did kind of shot, but they want a first for him. So,
dude, they didn't shut that down. Sean Payton got 0 responses and was like, "Oh, what? No, that was a hoax. No. We were never looking to trade him because now he's coming back to the locker room. Now you got to be like,
yeah, that's great.
No shit, we weren't trying to trade it. It's because because every team was like, you want a first rounder for Cortland Sutton? Okay, we'll see you. See you when he's a free agent in 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the Lions do at this wide receiver.
They're trying to get their draft capital back from Sean Payton.
Dude, and Russell Wilson.
Honestly,
they're like, shit.
We got Cortland Sutton. Ain't nobody about to trade for this.
Ain't nobody want. They're all like, okay, good for you, man. Yeah, right, rock and roll.
Rocky Mountain. It's not happening, dog.
That is hilarious. Oh my god.
All right, boys. Enough of this Cortland Sutton talk. I think that's enough for this episode. Next show, boys. What do you say we do like some sort of draft extravaganza? Maybe
gotta do a draft exchange. That's all we're talking about for the next
maybe
month.
Live mock draft.
Live. We might tease that. Let's wait a little bit later on in the month. Get a little closer to the draft talk. Let's talk second and third rounders. This is live on air planning. We'll figure it out.
That's all we do. Live on air planning. As always, check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out on Instagram as well as Honolulu Blues _. If you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, whatever, give us a like, subscribe. We appreciate it all. As always, check out my boys individually at Julius the Fifth Top and Nick, who is just Nick, I guess, but Nick Faber NFL. I know it by heart. Boys, great show as always. And as always,